All right, Cap. So you're standing up to somebody who is not being very direct with you right now. But it's interesting because flexible to me is not saying that you've been too flexible here. I think that you need to understand why this person is like talking in circles. So, nonsense is time to talk sense, and flexible. Nonsense is saying that you are standing up to somebody who is acting in a bad way. They're not giving you the truth. They're not looking you in the eyes, but you're no longer allowing yourself to kind of be like pacified by what this person is telling you, especially if it's not upfront and honest. Like, no, start talking to me here. What you're saying to me is not making any sense. But when you're looking at flexible, one of the things that it talks about is that you need to be willing to learn new things, and you need to be grounded in who you are, but yet you need to be able to bend if need be. It says common sense is important, which, yeah, with nonsense being there, obviously. But it says it's important, though, for you to have an open mind and stay curious and stay open, but also to stay aware. So there's a reason why you may be dealing with a person here who is not, giving you straight answers. So instead of completely shutting them out, I think the flexibility here is you needing to be a little bit more curious as to why they're acting this way. All right, Cap. Here is your overall. The Six of Pentacles. So equal give and take here, being open to receive something or dealing with a one-sided situation, but we'll see here. Okay. In the past, the Three of Swords. So clearly dealing with some heartbreak in a very difficult situation. But with the Six of Pentacles, I look at that and I almost feel like we're talking about a second chance here, even though you have been heartbroken, but you need to see something before you're willing to give anything. Now, yeah, in the present, the Queen of Pentacles, this is basically, you finding your own sense of like independence here. Kind of look at her and the woman in the Nine of Pentacles as the same person, but it's about you feeling confident with what you are giving, but also needing to feel secure in your ability to create your own security and stability. My God, if I could talk right. But I feel like this is kind of like what you're internalizing right now, rather than continuing to focus on the heartbreak. I think for a lot of you it's like, I really don't want to continue to focus on that and feel like you are insecure or almost codependent. And I don't know where that's coming from. All right. So future conditions, the Nine of Swords. Your thoughts, I don't think, are in a place of regretting an action. If you're regretting anything that you have done and you're going over it and over and over it, it's going to be about what you have given or what has been taken from you, looking at the Six of Pentacles. Because with the Three of Swords and the Nine of Swords, clearly here we're talking about a situation where there has not been equal give and take. I still feel like we're thinking about possibly a second chance, but the way that you're thinking about it right now is toward all of the negative experiences. And clearly with the Three of Swords, your thought process is still focused on that. But then at the same time, in the present moment, there is focus on how this has affected you personally. Did it leave you feeling insecure? But we'll see here. Oh my goodness, Cap, the hell is going on? Your best path to follow, the Seven of Swords. I think, whatever it is that you're thinking right now, it's best to kind of like keep it to yourself. That's kind of how I see the Seven of Swords here in terms of your advice, because they're talking about doing things on the down low, keeping plans to yourself, needing to also get out of a situation without saying anything, taking what you can, getting the hell out, right? But I also feel like if you're thinking about giving someone a second chance who has, broken your heart, I think that you need to be aware that there is a possibility that you could be taken advantage of again because of that being your advice. There's some reason why you're needing to pay attention to the sneaky, sketchy shit of the Seven of Swords before you give anything. And I hate putting it that way. And also here we're talking about ulterior motives, though I don't think that it's yours. I think that you need to be aware of ulterior motives around you. Again, I kind of go back to the oracle cards and think somebody is acting weird. And they're not being direct with you. But you need to find out why almost. The Six of Cups in your environment with the Queen of Pentacles, yeah, it's hard, I think, for you to feel independent when there is so much focus on the past. And I look at this too, and I think that this is who you were before you experienced this. And I think that there may be a lot of regret in giving to a situation where you may have been hurt or taken advantage of. And now it's like you're trying to get back to who you were in the past, secure, independent, not needing this. But like I said, I still think that there's, a second chance that's happening here. Like, I can't get past that. My goodness, Cap. And, oh, boy. And again, these are general. This is only going to be for some of you. Your hopes and fears, the Five of Pentacles. Fearing loss. Feeling like you don't know. Not being secure with yourself and your environment right now, feeling lack, not being a part of something. I feel like there is definitely something going on that, I don't know that you're fully aware of the extent of it. But I think that you at least have some idea looking at the Nine of Swords, because your thoughts are kind of going to worst case scenario here in future conditions anyway. But definitely with the Five of Pentacles, the fear there would be that, there's going to be more taken from you. Like, it's just take. And you've already been put through enough with the Three of Swords being the past. And then coming out the Page of Cups, and there, in a way, is where we're talking about a second chance, but you could definitely be dealing with somebody who is emotionally immature, especially going back to nonsense. But with the Page of Cups, this is also feelings, new emotions that are coming up. Things that you haven't felt before, the communication of new emotions. Are you going to give to that, or are you going to regret it later on? That is kind of how I'm looking at this. And then the Hierophant. All right. Now, again, with the Sun, this is everything coming out. Everything being made clear. But we're also talking about the energy of the Sun, but with Three of Swords being attached to that, that's definitely a depletion of energy after everything being made clear. But in connection to the Page of Cups, though, there's also that potential for a renewal of energy, a renewal of feelings. Now, looking at the Nine of Pentacles, again, we're talking about you needing to feel secure, needing to be on your own. For some of you, it's you're going back to a past issue, or a past issue is coming back to you. You are trying to find your own security and stability and independence. But it's not something that's easily let go of, because I still question the Six of Pentacles on whether or not, you're going to give again to, a situation that was very difficult for you. Your thoughts are definitely in a place, though, where this may not be something that you want to be locked into. Because with the Hierophant, I kind of look at that as, not only are we talking about traditional values and knowledge, but we're talking about commitments and major commitments here. But is it necessarily the right thing to do? To get involved again with a person based on emotions that are coming back up, because there's still a lot of feeling here between the Six of Cups and then looking at the Page of Cups. But there are a lot of things that may have been done that were really wrong. And there is a reason why, though. I think that, for those of you who are dealing with a person who is coming back around, there's a reason why they're doing this. And you need to, pay attention to the way that they're acting. Because there is something else. There is something else going on. There's a reason why. And it's not pure. And that's the hard part here. But you know that. Like, this person, you would know their personality given the experience that you've had in the past. And I don't think that you want to get yourself committed to, this situation over again when you clearly know what it is. And if you have an opportunity to be secure and independent on your own, then, that is what you need to be focused on. And I worry that it may have to do with money. Hell, with all the pentacles showing up and then looking at this and this and this. Are they coming back around because they want something that you now have, that you've worked hard for? I would say to you, be careful. Be careful about what is being communicated to you emotionally, because it's not, the intentions are not clear. And you don't want to do something that you're going to regret. You don't want to give to a situation where they're not, being authentic. Wow, Cap. All right, let's take a look at the soul trees. And then surrender. All right. I look at this and I don't think that it's about you surrendering to someone and giving them what they want. I think that, it's about you kind of like surrendering the control that you are trying to maintain over the way that, you are opening your heart and the way that you feel grounded. You can't let the situation block off your heart center, but at the same time, you need to be careful about what your heart is open to. It is more important for you to be grounded. This is not a situation that you're going to be able to control. And trying to control your thoughts surrounding this is not going to be the best way to go. I look at surrender and I think you just need to kind of like surrender to all of the thoughts and the situation that's unfolding. Keep yourself grounded, but be careful about what you're opening your heart to. And then desert passage. Trust there's a divine plan. Things may seem very barren right now and things just aren't growing in your life. But once you get past this, things will get better, but you need to drop the load. You need to drop all of the things that, are going to make you feel like everything is barren in your life. Wow, Cap. You guys are definitely going to have to let me know. But like I said, my main thing for you here and the main advice surrounding this is that you need to be willing to stay open-minded to the possibility that you are dealing with somebody who has ulterior motives. There's a reason why they're acting the way that they are. And you're going to have to kind of like be on the lookout for that. There may be a lot of, past memories here that are good. There may be, a definite emotional connection here from the past, but this person, the way that they've acted before. Just be careful here. And again, be careful about what you open your heart to.